Hello everybody, my name is Franklin and I'm really excited today to talk to you about my Spanish progress with my 2020 goals and let you know how I'm doing. Again, my name is Franklin and this is first1000hours.com.
Don't give up on your language learning marathon. You can make it. You can make it through your first 1,000 hours.
I recommend the Nature for Kids Beginning Spanish DVD as a fun way to help kids learn Spanish. The affiliate link to that is in the description of this video.
All right, well, I want to say hello to Language Learning Lover. I'm really glad that you were able to come to this live chat. I'm not sure exactly how long you're going to be able to come, but I'm glad that you gave a comment, and feel free to ask me any questions about my progress. And I'm going to go right into that because that's what I said I would do. And I have some fun activity to share with you as well. So I have this little presentation here about my progress reading and taking atypical Spanish courses. So first of all, I should let you know that I've watched 0 hours of Spanish courses. Okay, and someone would probably wonder, like, Franklin, why are you talking about this? Why are you sharing this? I want to be accountable. I want to be honest with you into what I'm doing and just let you know how I'm going. And so I have seen here at First 1,000 Hours that people have liked to know about my progress, and I need to share real and true things that's happening, okay? But I plan on doing my my Spanish courses I said I want to do. I plan on doing that starting sometime in the end of February. And then also, I want to show you here, I've read 49 pages in La Oración. That's about a book about prayer. And then also 52 pages in Cómo salir de la depresión. And that's a total of 101 pages. Okay, and so I have the book right here. And I should show you this. Let's see, which one is this? Oh yeah, this. I can show you this. This is a book right here, and I do actually have an affiliate link if you would like to get the English version of Depression the Way Out, and I'll be talking more in depth probably about that next month. And then also, I also have a link if you want to get the Spanish version. Okay, so let's go continue on this presentation. I have 200 hours more I need to do of my atypical classes in Spanish because I didn't watch any, so my goal was to watch 200 hours of Spanish courses, and then I need to read 1,899 pages left to read before 2020 ends. So if I break that down into 11 months, then what would that mean? It would mean that I need to watch I need to watch 18 hours per month, which really is not a lot. I think that's pretty doable. I think that's pretty easy to do. It's just a matter of me just actually doing it. And then also, that would mean that I need to read 173 pages per month of things in Spanish. And I think that's something I can do as well. So I want to share this with you. I need to remember this. Okay, days spent reading Cómo salir de la depresión. I want to show you something that Language Learning Lover would like to see, probably. This is paper right here. This is my paper notebook, and this is talking about my Spanish progress. So I think it's pretty interesting to note that as I was marking down how I was reading Cómo salir de la depresión, I have only spent 7 days in this month reading in that book, and I was able to read 52 pages. Now, honestly, I had a day off yesterday, and I was like, oh man, I have to do this report for First 1,000 Hours. So I did read, and actually let me look at how much I actually read. Okay, so on Wednesday, January 22nd, I was on page 31, and then I see here on Monday, January 27th, I read from page 31 to page 52. So I read, approximately around 21 pages. I would say it might have been like 20 pages because one of the pages in this book was in English. So this was originally an English book, but anyway, it's a Spanish translation of an English book. And I forgot to tell you, if I didn't already, this book means depression. The English title is Depression the Way Out. I really like this book a lot because it deals with lifestyle things, lifestyle choices that people can make to be able to overcome depression. And so it doesn't have this heavy focus on pills. And so I think I should tell you something else about this book. And this is so cool about being able to read in a foreign language. One of the reasons why we get stuck and we don't go further in our language learning marathon is because sometimes we don't have a strong why. So one of my whys, because I'm reading in a way that is interesting to me, I'm able to say, okay, yes, I want to learn Spanish, but also one of my whys is I want to learn more about natural ways that people can overcome depression. How can they do that with the way we eat? How we, anyway, this it's a lot more comprehensive than eating. It's about like, anyway, it looked at a lot of factors. I'm going to get into those factors next month, but also like I forgot some off the top of my head. Now I'm putting myself on the spot because I'm just kind of just talking to you, but it also talks about like exercise, for instance, or and other things. Okay, I haven't finished the book, so I'm not going to try to do a big summary of a book I haven't finished, but I have a stronger why, and so this book is very interesting to me to read. Okay, and one other thing I should note is that when I have talked about like my first book, and if you've been following First 1,000 Hours, I'm talking about my first Spanish book and all of this. What I have been doing is I've been talking about the struggle and how hard it was to read my first Spanish book. And if you haven't watched that, you can go ahead and click this card up here, and I talk about the mindset I had when I read my first Spanish book. But this is so much more enjoyable in one sense. I liked my first book, but I'm able to read a lot easier. It's not as a struggle as it was to read my first Spanish book. And if to put this in perspective, it took me around like maybe 9 months, especially because I was lazy, but it took me around 9 months to read my first Spanish book. That was 94 pages. I've already read 101 pages by God's grace. And so that's further than how I was before. And so I think that's pretty fun. And I think that's good to look at my progress. Now, I have to also look at the fact that I should have read around 166 pages to really be on track. And so now I have to read a little bit more per month if I want to actually meet my goals. Okay, so, but I like the fact of being accountable and talking with you as well today. And I wanted to show you something else that I think you'll find interesting. And I want to talk about this, my planner. Now let me put this back on the screen so you can see this. I have tried. One of my struggles is I have these goals. I have these big goals on language learning, and that's nice. But I can't just focus only on language learning, right? There's other things I need to do in the day to knock out in the day so I can have more time to have contact with that language. And so I am experimenting with having a planner and prayerfully writing down what I want to do for the following day. So in the nighttime, I'm trying to write down what I want to do. Now, I have not followed that to a T. There's been just a few days that I've written in this planner in that manner, but I think that if I do that more going into February, then I can kind of figure out, okay, maybe I really don't have all this time that I think I have to do what I want to do. Like, for instance, I need to think about, cleaning my duplex, or maybe exercising or doing other things like that. And then the free time that I thought I had, I really don't have, and then that can help me with focus. And then that can help me to actually sit down and read the book that I actually like, but I need to put into my schedule. And so what are you doing? Do you have any struggles with time management? And then what are those struggles? I would like to kind of know about that. Or are you pretty organized in your day and are able to really dedicate that time to be able to getting to your goals? All right, so I want to show you a new section here in First 1,000 Hours, and this is basically my motto. So we'll go over here, and before I go there, I need to let you know as well, feel free to ask me any question about my progress with my 2020 goals. And so I am able to look into the live chat, and I can see the live chat as I am talking. I have like 2 screens. And so I make sure that I can be responsive to the questions. And so I'll be able to answer those questions at the end of this presentation. Okay, I want to go right here. And this is my motto. If you can read a sentence, you can read a book. So we're going to read several sentences from the book that I have, Como Salir de la Depresión, or Depression the Way Out, and we'll see how it goes today. I think we're going to find that if we, you're going to find that with these principles of reading and going more and more into that, you're going to find that, yes, you don't have to be fearful, even if you're getting this huge book that, you might be a little intimidated with. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, so let's go ahead and read together. All right, so my question is this: who said this? Now I'm going to actually drop this into the live chat. Just bear with me real quick, because I forgot to do that. I don't know how well you can actually see. I'm not sure how well you can actually see the writing. So I'm going to make sure that I drop this into the live chat so that you can kind of follow along with this. And I would be interested to know if you know who said this. Okay, so I'm going to have to just... Okay, I'm going to take some of this off. Just a minute. Just bear with me a second. All right, so I'm going to just post part of this. Here's part of the person saying the part of the person's quote. All right, and I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to put some more in here in a second, and I'm almost finished. This is about like 7 sentences that we're going to go over. Okay, so that's it, and so I'm going to go right back to the presentation. Okay, so I'm just going to read this, and it says this: "Me sentio el hombre más miserable del mundo, si lo que siento fuera distribuido en partes iguales entre toda la familia humana, no habría ni solo rostro alegre sobre la faz de la tierra. ¿Mejoraré acaso alguna vez? No lo sé. Temerosamente predigo que no. Permanecer como estoy es imposible. Al parecer, debo morir o sanar." Okay, so who do you think said that? First of all, we probably need to think about what in the world is that saying. So I want you to focus on this. So we're going to go here. And when you're trying to figure out what is being said, first of all, we need to focus on what we know. Hola, STK Language. It's nice for you to be here. And we're looking and we're trying to break down these sentences here that I already posted in the live chat. And we're going to try to break them down to figure out what it says. And if you know what it says, you can go ahead and post it if you want. And then also who said that. And this is from the book Como Salir de la Depresión. Okay, so if we can do this, please give me one word to describe what this quote is about. So you might be wondering, how in the world can you describe what this quote is about? I know that some people that are watching this are that might be watching this later or now, are seeking to learn maybe Japanese. People are trying to learn Russian. Some people are learning German. And so it's like, Franklin, you're showing me this quote and people might not even know this Spanish. How in the world are you expecting me to know what this quote is about? So the question is this: what do you think it's about? Now I'm going to give you a big clue. This book is called Como Salir de la Depresión. So if we're going to know that the book title, in the English title, is called Depression the Way Out, if you had to describe one word that you thought maybe the quote would be about, what would that word be? Okay, I don't see anybody typing it in, but I'll just let you know it's about depression. That would be kind of a good thing to think about, because the book's about depression, so the quote probably would be about depression. So we're kind of thinking about the context. So we've not really even gone into the words yet. We're just looking at thinking about context, and that's so important to do, because sometimes when we try to open up a book, we don't do it. Okay, yeah, and I see what you said, SK Language, depression, exactly, right? Because sometimes we look at a book and we stop with that book and we forget everything we knew. Okay, and so what I like is to think about what we can do, and I like that promise. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. Okay, so SK language got it. Depression. All right, so you can see the quote right here on the screen again, and I'm gonna go into the next thing here. And what I've done is I've used the Duolingo CEFR checker. And if you don't know what the Duolingo CEFR checker is, you can go ahead and click this card up here and look at my video about that. But I'm going to go right back here and show this to you. And what all this is, is highlighting A1 words. And so that's like the lowest level, you could say the lowest beginner level that the Common European Framework Reference of Languages looks at. When they're looking at language learning levels. So if you look at that, you can say that most of these words are words that people, even beginners, you could say in language learning, would be able to know. And so I would say that even if you're starting out and you're trying to pick up this big old textbook, you know more than what you think you know. Okay, and again, look at what I would assume a lot of people know in Spanish right here. All right, so we're going to look at this and take this basically sentence by sentence to figure out what is being said. Okay, and so it says here, "Mi sintió el hombre más miserable del mundo." Sorry about my messed up Spanish, okay? But we can say like right here, miserable. Basically, it looks like the same English word as miserable. So this is saying, I feel like the most miserable man in the world. Okay? Let's go on to the next sentence. And then it says like, si lo que siento fuera. So it says like, okay, I'm just going to read what the red is in English, okay? So it says like, si is if what I was feeling was in parts between all the family. And you could say humana would be the same as like human. So it's saying like if what I was feeling in parts between all the family, the human family. So what was he feeling? He was feeling miserable. We already know that from the last sentence. So this is something about like if things were going to the whole human family, and then it says, and we could say distributo. We know that that's like really similar to English. So it would be distributed. No habría. And so it says, no habría ni solo rastre alegre sobre la faz de la tierra. So if we look at this, we might need to know some of these words. I like to sometimes look at things that I don't know. So I might go into Google Translate or use the link, which helps me read things faster. So if we look at rostro, that means face. Alegre is like happy. So it's basically saying if what I was feeling was distributed in partes iguales. Iguales is very similar to equal. So you can say in equal parts between all the human family. No would be, habría is like would be. But if you didn't know this, like no happy face upon the face of the earth. Okay, so let's keep on going to the next sentence. Oh man, I already gave the things away on this. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to do that, but it's saying like mejorare. It's basically saying, will I improve? ¿Acaso perhaps alguna vez or sometime? And then it says no lo sé, which would mean I don't know. And then temerosamente predigo que no. So temerosamente, I would know like temor is like fear. So I would think like fear. And then mente a lot of times is fully, like it has a fully in there. So I would get like, that means fearfully, but I might need some help with the next word. So I can say fearfully, and then I just can look that up in Google Translate. Fearfully, I predict no. So even if all this would be distributed, what he was feeling would be distributed in equal parts of the world, he didn't think that people would be able to bear the weight. All right, let's continue to go on to the next sentence. It says, permanecer como estoy es imposible. So, um, como is as, estoy, I am, is. So, so what is permanecer? That could be something you look up again. It would be to stay, and then to stay, como estoy es. To stay as I am is, and then imposible and impossible is like the same thing. And it says, al perecer, vivir, morir, o sanar. So morir is to die, and that might be something, to die or. And then al is sometimes it's like to the, but it doesn't mean to the in this sentence. So I would maybe look that up, to be honest. And I did. And so it's like apparently al parecer and debo, I should morir or die or heal. So let's okay, that's the end of my presentation, but let's go back over this real quick. I'm just going to try to read this in English, like basically how I would kind of understand it, and hopefully I remember everything right. But and then the question is, who said this? All right, because I don't see anybody saying it yet, but it says, I feel like the most miserable man in the world, if what I felt was distributed in equal parts between all the human family, there would not be one happy face upon the face of the earth. Will I improve sometime? I don't know. Fearfully, I predict I won't, or no. To remain as I am is impossible. Apparently, I should die or heal. Okay, so the interesting thing about this, and maybe I can go there on the page, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not. Well, I don't think you're going to see it. But anyway, it came from this quote right here, and you might be able to see the name right there. But this was actually, I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, that was Abraham Lincoln, who felt that way, and it's pretty interesting to find out that such a renowned person, you could say, or someone that people, a well-known public figure, actually was struggling with depression in that way. And so what we can find is that, sometimes people have those bouts and those really heavy thoughts, but that does not mean that you have to stay in that category. And so I'm really thankful for the encouragement that I'm getting as I'm reading this book. And so I don't see that anybody has any questions for me. Basically, that's some of what I wanted to share today. And hopefully that was helpful to kind of go through those sentences. I hope so. I'll try to make it better next time. But I don't want you, when you are going through your book that you're reading, I don't want you to be intimidated by any type of sentence. Just know that you can try to figure it out through context. You can pray, you can ask the Lord to help you, and you can also, you know more than probably what you do know, and you look for any type of clue that you can get. One thing that is interesting in this book, like if I don't know something, I can actually, it has pictures. Now, not every book that I have has pictures, so, but if I want to, like, let's say, like, I don't know this word about cerebro, right? But I see this picture of a brain. Guess what I'm going to do? I can think, maybe this has cerebro has something to do with the brain. All right, and so, I can go back over here and maybe look at, okay, efectos de la depresión, and I see this person that has this face that looks sad or something. Then I can kind of think, okay, well, maybe this is talking about, obviously I know it's about depression. That was like a really bad example, but you kind of get the point, I think. So, all right, so I'm going to look at what you said here. Wow, I didn't know that. You're saying this, language learning lover. I was going to say it was an artist. I don't remember if it was Da Vinci or someone else struggled with depression. And then SK language, I see what you say. Nice read along. Yeah. Well, I didn't know Da Vinci. I didn't know anything about Da Vinci having something like that. I mean, but like you said, you don't remember if it was or not. And yes, I would have never guessed that was Abraham Lincoln myself. So I just want to thank everybody for coming to this live chat. What I'm going to do next time, what I'm seeking to do for next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time is I'm thinking to talk about what my thoughts are about what someone should potentially do for their first 1,000 hours, and like go step by step, like from hour zero. And even before you get to hour zero, what do you do? What do you do from 0 to hour 40? What do you do from 40 to hour 80 and things like that? So I hope that you'll be here for that, and maybe you have your own thoughts as well. And so I think that you will be able to have fun and participate in that one. All right, but I want to also, Van Gogh. Okay, I see you were thinking that was Van Gogh. Okay, interesting. I want to also let you know that if you want to be encouraged a little bit more in reading in a foreign language, then what I do is I have a playlist that you can click on the screen, and that can help you with other tips, strategies, and also practical tools to help you read in a foreign language. And there's also a video that YouTube recommends, and I hope to see you in the next video.